Hi, everyone. I am Pascale Hutton, and I am joined today with my co-star and friend, Kavan Smith.
What's up?
Yeah.
How's it going?
So we're here. We're going to answer a few questions about our new mystery that's coming out. These questions have been sent to us by Hallmark Mystery, and hopefully it will answer some, if not all, of your burning questions that you have about this new movie that Kavan and I have coming out. So
Let's
let's dive
go.
in.
Let's
Kavan,
dive in.
people are very curious. We haven't done a movie in a couple years.
Yep.
We are paired up again in a new genre we've
Mm-hmm.
never done before, mystery.
Yep.
So tell me how you feel about that.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, working with you this time was a bit of a disappointment. I had high expectations.
I know, I know.
No, obviously, okay. So what really stands out in this one is that we've been trying to put this together for what, 6, 7 years now, trying to get a mystery for ourselves
Yeah,
because,
we thought we were, stellar casting. Like, why didn't they jump on this sooner?
yeah,
We've
totally.
been campaigning for a long time.
Yeah, it really took them a while to come around on this one. Yeah, but no, it was super. It was super fun, and it was one of those ones when the call came in and we read the script. I know we talked right away after, and I was like, okay. Now, obviously, for Detective Michael, it was a little more ambiguous. That character will have to be built over time, but the Nelly character was like a slam dunk for you right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's what you said to me when you phoned me.
It is.
Let's
Although,
talk. You were
interestingly
like,
enough, the title originally was Detective Michael Mysteries, and she threw a fit on set and got all upset. So I let
that's
them.
not exactly how I remember it. I
Oh
remember it
no!
like it was named Detective Michael Mysteries, and then they cast you, and they were like, that can't be the face person of this. That can't be the front of this movie. So we'll have to go with Nelly. Nelly
Agree to
knows.
agree to disagree on this one, I think. But anyway, let's expand on this one. Did you have a good time? Or was it everything you hoped it would be in a mystery?
It was, I have to say, even better. I was so thankful that you and I ended up waiting all this time because I mean it's a good lesson in the right project will find you. It's out
Yeah.
there and sometimes you just kind of have to wait for it to come. You and I had kind of moved on. We hadn't really talked about the mystery genre in a long time.
No.
And then this one came along and it felt like it although it had not been made for us, it felt like it had been made for us.
Yeah, it kind of
And
did.
I just was so excited about this character. Like you said, it just sort of felt like a slam dunk and it felt like something new and different, the mystery genre, but done in a very quirky, unique way.
It
And
was the
I
quirk that
loved that.
really, yeah, it was the quirk that stood out. And the other thing that stood out, aside from you and I, because these things are very, in my opinion, each one that I've seen are very sort of centered on the lead girl and lead guy. And even though the town's important, in this one, I feel like the town is like a third character. Like it's
Absolutely.
so integral to the show
Totally.
itself.
It really is.
It
Like
really is.
it is the other star of the movie. It's and we really lucked out. We got an amazing cast. Everybody
Yep.
was so unique and
Yeah.
brought such a interesting personality to each of the different characters. And I really hope that as hopefully the show goes on and on, like hopefully we'll do more of them, that we'll get to see some of those characters develop over multiple movies because it's sort of I feel like they're all intriguing enough that you kind of want to see each of them in more of a central character in a future mystery.
For sure. I was saying that it kind of reminds me of one of those small towns in like Edward Scissorhands or Big
Yeah,
Fish or
yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
totally.
idyllic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move along. Next question written
Next
for
question.
us.
Is this me?
This I'm asking you now.
Oh,
Nelly
yay.
Knows Mysteries. A fatal engagement follows Nelly, who is an advice columnist for a lifestyle magazine. Pascal, that's you. How does your character's job connect with her murder case?
Yeah, well, I write an advice column in this small town, and I think the assumption is, although I don't know that it's ever said in the script, is that Nellie's been in this town her entire life, and so everybody in this small town just knows her and loves her, and she's got really quite infectious kind of personality that just draws people in, and I think people feel at ease with her and comfortable because of their history, but also because of who she is. And so this murder happens of the fiance or boyfriend of a friend of hers. And so the friend Nelly kind of stumbles into it because she's the one who finds the body, but then she gets drawn into the mystery because her friend is, requesting her help. And also she just has kind of an insatiable curiosity about life in general. And so there's no stopping her. I mean, give Nelly a dead body and she's going to run with it.
That's all what you just said. And she's super nosy.
Yeah, Nelly knows.
Yeah, Nelly knows. Nelly is nosy. She knows.
Yeah. This is a great third question. Okay, so tagging off of what we just were talking about Nelly finding the body.
It was so long ago, I can't remember what we were talking about.
She stumbles upon this murder and she wants to solve the murder. Without giving away too much. Can we share more about the case? Now, this really is your case, Detective Michael. Nelly kind of noses her way into that, nudges her way into it, but you probably are the better person to talk about the actual case in its professionalism.
Oh, Lord, that puts a lot of pressure on me all of a sudden. I have to be erudite in my response.
Yeah.
I think that the risk with giving out too much away on these little mysteries is that you want to set up your red herrings and you want to set up everything, so you don't want to give too much away. I will say this, that for a detective, this is a normal murder mystery, but it happens in this little town that we're talking about. Babbleton is a really cute little idyllic place, and it's all just slightly off tempo for him. Everything is awkward because everybody's so happy and knows everybody, and it's so quirky, and they're all interfering in his investigation like it's completely normal, and that's just the way things work here, and it's jilting to him. But I think if we go into too many discussions about what actually happens, I don't want to give anything away, because when I read it, and I have seen,
you didn't know who did it, did you?
I had no idea. I really had no
idea.
idea. Not until the very end. I was like, oh, okay. So it was definitely, I think the mystery component of it is really well set up. That's obviously the third component of these things. You got to have some charisma and some charm, and you want your other characters to be good, but the mystery needs to be compelling as well. And I think that it is. So I don't want to say too much, because I have a habit of talking too much and giving things away.
You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Can you elaborate?
What I would say with this, and this doesn't give anything away, but I would say part of the charm of the movie is that because of its setting and because of its kind of spectrum of characters that are laid out for you, and because all of them seem so cozy and familiar and to Nelly, and because Nelly's kind of your eyes through this town, it makes it so that although everyone's a suspect, you don't want to suspect any of them.
Yeah, because they're all so nice.
And so it kind of puts you in this no man's land where you're like, is it that person? Yeah. I really like that person. I don't want it to be that person. And then, but you're like, there are enough hints that you're like, it could be. I don't know who it is. And that's kind of what works in our favor in this particular setting of the movie.
This is true. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Okay, my character, finally. Michael is a new detective in town who is determined to solve the murder and land a permanent position on the force. Tell us more about Michael and Nelly's working relationship.
Oh, I'm supposed to answer that.
Well, we could just wait for somebody else to answer if you want, but I think it's just you. So if it's not too much bother, just give it a go. See what happens.
For some reason, I thought you were going to ask the question and answer the question.
I can do that too. I have no problem answering my own questions. But for the sake of this interview,
about their relationship. No, I'm on it.
Okay,
about their relationship. So, I mean, it's a great relationship because it's a bit oil and water-ish, because their approaches are so different. Nelly is so unconventional. She's so intuitive. instinctual, and Michael is so much more by the book, procedural, wants to follow the rules, wants hard evidence before he proceeds down any path. And then when the hard evidence does point in a direction, he's going to go in that direction, even when she's saying, my instincts tell me that's the wrong way. And so it's this push-pull between the two of them. They need each other because they both have access to different information, but their approaches, and I think Nelly's a bit blasé, or not flippant about it, like just she doesn't seem as ruffled by his approach, but it definitely seems to kind of unsettle Michael. He's never dealt with somebody like her before.
Sure. Well, she's so impulsive, and
Yes.
I mean, this is her. She's in her element all the time,
Yeah.
so that impulsivity comes at no risk. It's just easy to be herself, which makes it a very fun character, and it's a great character to bounce a more straight guy off of.
Totally.
So because Michael is so by the book, and he's so earnestly trying to earn his position here, so he's working towards trying to get a job, a permanent job, and she keeps interfering with his case, and he thinks it's running a risk, for certainly in the beginning he thinks it runs a risk of screwing the case up, and
it sort of derails him a lot, like
for sure.
He's got a path, and then she's constantly kind of derailing him, and he's like, you have to stop doing this.
Until he eventually realizes, okay, this is actually being somewhat helpful. And then he grudgingly starts to change his tune.
Yeah.
Well, number 4 was successful.
That was a huge success. Once we figured out who was answering it.
Yeah, exactly. There was a few minutes where it looked hazy. I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it together, but we did.
Okay, so this is my question.
Please.
For you, though.
Thank you.
Not only does this movie follow a murder investigation, but there is a furry friend who joins us on set. Can you share more about the Kitten storyline and how it was working with an adorable little kitty?
So the word I want to put out there is toxoplasmosis.
Stop. No one wants to hear it. Everybody just wants
you
to
said that on set too, and it's not true. Everybody's really interested. Everybody finds it fascinating. Anyway, the point is, we did have a little kitten on set. It was very cute. Everybody, one of the things is on sets, everybody says it, no pets and no children, because they just steal all the scenes and everybody's heart. And this little kitten, this teeny tiny kitten, was just so adorable. Everyone fell in love with the cat, and it actually, I don't know if I'm giving too much away, but it helps tie it all together at the end, which is kind of
is the button on the whole
exactly
movie. But so cute. Oh my goodness. Between takes, everybody was like running over to the little pen where the kitten was kept, and is like playing with the kitten, picking up the kitten. Everybody loved this kitten so much.
They did. Now they all have toxoplasmosis, but that's another story. So going on to number 6.
Yes.
During the investigation, Nelly and Michael start to open up to one another about their previous relationships. How do our characters help each other heal over past wounds?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, do you have a good answer for this? I don't know if I really. Oh, you do. Go for it.
Well, I think obviously in any film there has to be a sort of an arc for a character. You have to start somewhere and end somewhere, or it's really not that interesting. What's the point of watching? So I think Michael comes in. Obviously, he just got out of a tough marriage, and he's a little rigid and closed off, and you have your own experience with loss, or Nelly's character has an experience with loss, but she's probably had more time to get over it, so she kind of helps nudge him into sort of being a bit more open. And I think that for his character, we have a couple of scenes in the diner where we have these talks, and the characters slowly start to open up to one another, and I think that just the progress that they make in each other, just in the discussion, you can kind of see where you start and where you end up and where you could possibly go. And I think that that's what they've sort of, in fact, they were some of my favorite written scenes in the show where we open up, because you and I, one of the things that we love to do, and we talk about this all the time, is that we love to do comedy because we like to make ourselves laugh and make each other, well, you like to make yourself laugh. But we like it to be intermixed with moments of meaning, and something. like where
yes.
you go up and down, and there's because it gives the comedy more weight or more levity, and it gives those real moments, more they land better. So I just think that when I saw those scenes in there, that it gives the characters somewhere to go, and we help each other. So it really starts to connect the two characters.
Yeah, and it gives some sort of depth to the relationship, so it's not just kind of bubbling surface kind of superficialness.
Yeah, exactly.
There is some like actual deeper connections starting to happen between the two of them.
Right. Because he can't just be dour, and she can't just be
Exactly,
bubbly.
exactly. It would
Yeah.
just be one
Character.
note and
Yeah.
ultimately boring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So good, we
Okay,
agree on that one.
so Nelly and Michael have different work ethics when it comes to investigating a crime. What qualities do uh, we love about our characters that make them a great team to solving the mystery?
Well, I think that essentially we've already kind of highlighted it, but your enthusiasm or Nelly's enthusiasm and her impulsiveness are infectious. They're just
Yeah.
it's kind of got a puppy dog quality that you just can't help but watch and love. And then it plays off of his wanting to stay closed off, wanting to keep you at bay, annoyed by that behavior, but slowly just kind of lowering his defenses a little bit. And I just think that those personalities, and I think that's what drew us to the script in the first place, is we saw where this could go. Like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of fun for us to have here in these two.
Totally,
Yeah,
totally. And I think um, Michael presents like a challenge to Nelly
for
because
sure.
he's not going to just go along with her kind of tornado. He's kind of going to stop her in her tracks a few times. And I think she just instinctually loves that. She's like, ooh, okay, like we're going
Something
over here
different.
now. Like
Yeah.
there's a bit of a squirrel element
Yeah,
with Nelly.
totally.
And so
Squirrel.
she's like, you're like, hang on. And I'm like, ooh, okay, we're going over here. Like, I'm okay
Yeah.
with going on a detour. Now let's get back. And oh, another detour.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. So where does that take us to? Number 8?
Yep.
Okay. As our characters get closer to clearing Nelly's friend's name from the case, they encounter new twists and turns. Can we each give a clue to the viewers? Can we each give a clue the viewers should be on the lookout for as they sleuth along while watching? What kind of clues do you think we can drop?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. I will give one big clue. The killer was not either of us. That's a big clue, but it doesn't really help anybody. Or was it?
What would I say is an actual clue? I feel like people are going in with that assumption that it's neither of us.
Well, we've gone through, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's probably about 5 or 6 people that were suspects, 5 or 6 quality suspects.
Yeah.
So we kind of run the gamut of everybody that's involved.
Hmm.
And I guess one clue would be you may not see it coming, and don't get married to just one.
Yeah. 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 I think that's good.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, was that you or was that me? I asked that one. So it's
Yeah.
your
So,
yeah.
okay. The Hardys are excited for us to play new roles and
Hmm.
will love Nelly's enthusiasm on helping Michael solve a case. Are there any traits between Nelly and Michael's relationship that are similar to Lee and Rosemary?
Yes, obviously some I would say Nelly has a dramatic flair to her, and some have mentioned that Rosemary has a slight dramatic flair to her as well. So
No.
so I would say that there's probably some impulsivity with your character and some, that sort of, she has that just inherent sweet quality to her, and I think both characters have that as well.
Yeah.
Really unlike you in real life, but definitely a character that you're performing.
Yeah. I can harness that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And what about Michael and Lee?
Yeah, well, the thing is I actually think Michael and Lee are more different
Yes.
than I think Michael is so much more rigid than Lee is. I think Lee, although often the straight man with Rosemary, Lee's very like like loose, and he's not such a rule follower. He kind of is, he goes along with the flow, and and I think Michael is a lot more rigid. Maybe by the end, maybe if we get to 7 movies, maybe Michael will get to that point. But I feel like Lee has always had this kind of more loose kind of coolness to him, even from day one on When Calls the Heart. Whereas Michael definitely comes at it like much more rigid, which stands in, and obviously Nelly, I think, is even like quite an extreme version of that kind of curiosity, reactionary kind of squirrel-like quality. And so it gives more of a kind of dichotomy between Nelly to have Michael so rigid, which works well. Yeah,
I agree. And I mentioned to Pascale, or I guess I'm talking to you. I mentioned to you when we were doing ADR, which is sort of after we've done it, you go in and fix some of the sound mistakes or sound things. And I said, my first comment was, I really think the characters are different than Lee and Rosemary. We look different. I think we sound a bit different. Obviously, it's contemporary, so it's the surroundings are different. But I really did feel that, perhaps more so than any other things we've done, that were quite different.
Yeah, which is great. I think, I mean, people like seeing I think people like seeing the two of us in projects together because we enjoy it so much. And
I think, and
you
they
like
can see
watching
that.
people who enjoy, you can tell that chemistry, that, and I think that will carry forward into this one as well.
Yeah, I agree. Boy, we answered some good questions there.
Yeah.
Was that all of them?
That was it. Okay, so now to wrap up this whole chat, I think we're going to be playing a game. So we're going to give you 3 clues, and we're going to try and answer it.
Yep.
But you try and answer it too. Think about these, and then I guess when you watch the movie, then you can think about if you can answer it.
Okay, I will give clue number 1. I am a good ear when Nelly reads her anonymous letters.
Dun dun dun. Clue number 2, I am a great asset in helping Nelly solve the murder case. Is she? I don't know. I just gave another clue. I said she.
You're bad at this game. Okay, I'll ask the last one. I am the first person Nelly confides in when she receives a threatening note.
So that pretty much narrows it down.
It really does. Even I would have got this one right. Who am I? All right, everybody. The answer is
Fiona, Nelly's co-worker at Babbleton Life.
But I guess it's time to wrap up. That was a super fun time. And I enjoyed it.
I can't wait for everyone to watch the movie.
Should we tell everybody when and where?
It's August 23rd.
Yep.
On Hallmark Mysteries.
9 and 8 Central. Only on Hallmark Mysteries. Tweet along with us.
And tweet along with us using hashtag Nelly Knows. And,
Nelly Knows.
You know, Kavan and I are both filming When Calls the Heart currently. So hopefully we're not working that Friday and we can tweet along with you. Our intention is to chime in and maybe offer up some clues along the way, and definitely hear your guesses as the movie plays out. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. And I know people are expecting a cavalcade of tweets from me, and and I will do my best. But I think I do work on Friday.
Oh, lucky you.
But I'll tweet along anyway. I'll do my very, very best. I hope everybody tunes in, because we had a blast doing this one. We love working together, and we've been after a mystery thing for a long time. So we hope you enjoy it, and because we'd like to do a whole bunch more of them for you.
Absolutely.